Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Mountaineer Postgame Show. Schuyler Callihan here, and West Virginia moving to 3-0 on the season, taking down the Lehigh Mountain Hawks 69-47. Diving into some of the numbers here before we get into what happened. Brenen Lorient had the best game of his career offensively, putting up 26 points on 11 of 15 shooting, 3 of 4 from three-point range. Also added in 7 rebounds and a pair of assists. The only other Mountaineer to score in double figures was Harlan Obioha with 12 points. He added 8 boards. Honor Huff had 8. Jasper Floyd was 7. Amir Jenkins was 6. And a few points scattered here throughout the rest of the lineup. West Virginia shot 37% from three-point range, 47% from the field. They did a much better job of rebounding the ball with a plus 13 advantage, which we actually talked about in our score prediction article earlier in the day. I said that Houston had a plus 13 against Lehigh, and that game, that should have been the benchmark for WVU in this game, especially with how they've been rebounding the first 2 games. You would have hoped that they would turn the corner and find more success in that area of the game. They definitely did, going, again, plus 13, just like Houston did, and a much, much better job specifically on the defensive end of the floor, rebounding it, just limiting Lehigh to 3 offensive rebounds. Night and day difference from those first couple of games. So not a huge win, of course. It's just, a little, low major, mid major, whatever you want to call them. But you're moving to 3-0. You get some more confidence heading into this backyard brawl on Thursday night. And offensively, it's still a work in progress. And we kind of figured that would be the case, even when you have 2 sharpshooting talents like Trayson Eaglestaff and Honor Huff. Those 2 guys were the guy at their previous school, and everything just ran through them. Now that they're here, they have to work off one another. They also have 3 others on the floor that can really score it, especially Brenen Lorient. So they're just trying to find their place in this offense. And I think at times it just looks a little disjointed, but at least in the first half tonight, the ball was moving. There was a lot of actions, a lot of movement. There wasn't a lot of whole stagnation going on the offensive end. You put up 42 points, shot the ball extremely well. Let's see, what did they shoot at? 53% in the first half alone, 41% from three-point range. You had 8 assists on 15 made shots. So the ball movement was there. The shot's just not going down right now for Honor or Trayson. Trayson went 1 of 5 from the field, 1 of 3 from beyond range. And Honor Huff shot a bit more, just didn't find the bottom of the net, going 2 of 10 from the field and 2 of 8 from 3. So for Honor Huff, I think he's got to find a way to get downhill and get to the basket. I know that's not his game, but sometimes getting those layups, those points in the paint, driving the ball, that gets you some confidence, even when you're a pure shooter like he is. The thing is, he's going to shoot out of this slump. It's a matter of time. He's always been a great shooter at every single level throughout his entire life. It's not like he just forgot how to shoot the basketball. It's going to come to him, and that's why I figure going into tonight's game or today's game that he would have put up some gaudy numbers, because this is the 3rd time in 6 days that they've played, and I thought that would have been a benefit to him as opposed to maybe a drawback, because the more shots you get up, the more in rhythm you get, the more likely those things are going to start to fall. Now, if we were, say, 15, 18 games into this thing and it was 3 games in 6 days, you would be worried a little bit about tired legs. This is not the case. It's the early part of the season. It's 3 teams that you've been able to pretty much handle for the most part, and you're not really fatiguing yourself out too much. So I really thought that this would have been a game for Honor specifically to find the bottom of the net a little bit more, and it just wasn't going for him. He was way off on a couple of shots, way off the mark. So we'll see if he gets back on track. They're going to need him to on Thursday night. And the same thing with Trayson Eaglestaff. This is the 2nd time for him in 3 games where he just really wasn't the aggressor. He wasn't hunting his shot. And that's, again, part of the feeling things out process that he and the rest of this team is in right now, trying to figure out when to pick their spots, when to shoot it, when to pass it, when to expect the ball to come your way, when to know what the guy that you're communicating with non-verbally, that is, and trying to make things happen there. they're not there to that point yet. Only Jasper Floyd and Brenen Lorient have that connection where they can just look at each other, know what each other's about to do, and do something without communicating. The rest of the team's it's gonna take time, it's gonna take reps, it's gonna take games for that to get there. But defensively, I mean, this was the best performance by far. I mean, the numbers support it. Sometimes they don't, but tonight they truly did. Again, you held Lehigh to 35% from the field. They turned it over 16 times, and it felt like 26, especially with the way they were throwing it away early in that first half. Many of those turnovers led to points for West Virginia. So you got to credit the defense, the way that they played, connected and really enthused and played with a high level of energy is a great sight to see, especially from those two guys we just talked about, the two sharpshooters who come to Morgantown with that high profile uh, ability to score it. And you've wondered about their defense. How are they going to play on that end? And so far, I've been impressed. I mean, I get it's inferior competition, but when the ball's not going through the hoop, sometimes that can carry to the other end of the floor. And those two guys have not allowed that to happen. Eagle staff has guarded well. Honor Huff has guarded well. And I think as a team tonight, they played much better away from the basketball as well as the ball pressure. The on-ball pressure I thought has been pretty solid through the first two games, and it was again tonight. But guarding away from the basketball, clogging up the lane, bumping guys off their tracks in the middle of their actions, really kind of got Lehigh out of what they really wanted to do. They really had to fight for every single bit of inch on the floor. And that first 15 to 18 minutes or so, they were just having a hell of a time getting there. And towards the end of the half, they made a couple of really tough shots. You got to tip your hat to them for that. But I think overall, it was about what you expected. And really, for the first time, I thought this was a game where WVU kind of took control early. And obviously, the second half was dead even 27-27, but they were able to get out in front, play with the lead, play comfortable, and stayed on top of it and didn't let Lehigh chip back into it. And that's the first time they've done that in these first three games where they were able to keep that comfortable lead. So 3-0 start, the backyard brawl coming up on Thursday. A couple of thoughts about that. I think, the energy in the building is going to be off the charts, and you would just have to assume because the crowd's going to be behind you, and this is the first time Pitt's going to be playing away from the Peterson Event Center, that, this is going to be an opportunity for them to make some hay and really make a statement. And I think with Pitt, there's a lot of newcomers on their end as well. It's the first time they've traveled as a team. So not just the fact that it's a road game against your rival, but that it's the first game that this group has traveled and played in an away environment for. That's going to be tough for them. So I think defensively, if West Virginia can take what they did tonight, copy and paste it onto Thursday night, then you're going to be in a really good position to win that game. You're going to need Honor Huff. You're going to need Trace and Eagle Steph. You're going to need those guys to hit shots. It doesn't have to be 5 or 6 threes each. It doesn't have to be of that variety, but you need at least one of those guys to step up, knock a couple down early, and get that momentum rolling. So I think really there's maybe still some uncertainty about the future of this team in terms of this season, and I understand it. But look, if you go back to a year ago, there's a lot of similar feelings going on, right? UMass game, which I think everybody kind of forgets about, wasn't a great performance. They kind of snuck that one out. You obviously lost to Pitt in the backyard brawl up there in Game 3, which was just a week after that game against UMass, and it took a little while. And I think after those two games with UMass and Pitt, nobody would have thought that you'd go on and have the success that you had, not only for the season, but just a few weeks later when you're playing against Gonzaga and Louisville and Arizona, and the way that those games unfolded. 3 straight overtime games, you win 2 of them. And I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen here with this team, that they're going to go down to Charleston and do damage there. but I think it's way too early to hit the panic button just yet. There's reasons to be concerned, but you also got to keep in mind this is a group that's without Chance Moore. They've got 2 more games without him. Jackson Fields will get back in the mix here sooner than later. So it's just about finding what this team can do to rack up wins without those guys right now. And no matter what way it comes, pretty ugly or in between, and when you get those guys back, you're going to have a deeper bench and more rotations that you can go to throughout a given night. So West Virginia, Pitt, 6 o'clock. Yes, a 6 o'clock start on Thursday night on FS1. So make sure to keep that in mind. It's not a 7 p.m. tip. It is a 6 p.m. tip. Don't know why they're doing that. It's got to be a TV thing, I'm sure. But anyways, West Virginia wins once again 69-47 over Lehigh, moving to 3-0 on the season. That'll do it for me here tonight on the Mountaineer Postgame Show. Be sure to click that like and subscribe button here on our YouTube page at West Virginia on SI. We'll be off tomorrow and be back on Tuesday and Wednesday for Between the Ears. The Walk Thru GameDay Show on Thursday, previewing West Virginia football in their matchup against the Arizona State Sun Devils. And Thursday night, we'll, of course, have another post-game show recapping what happened between the Mountaineers and Panthers in that backyard brawl. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you here on Tuesday.